Now, the title of today's lesson is A Lion Forgotten. A Lion Forgotten. And this is in reference, as we all know, the Bible describes the tribe of Judah as being a lion or a lion's whelp. And those references are also made to the nation of Israel in general as being a lion amongst the nations. So we're going to go into a lesson titled A Lion Forgotten. And what we're going to do is we're going to start off in the book of 1 Corinthians, the fourth chapter and the ninth verse. Okay? And for anyone who has been in our academies, our advanced academies, a few months ago we did a lesson going into what is the Illuminati and how the righteous of the nation of Israel, or the righteous in general, are more powerful than the Illuminati. And we showed you that according to the Bible, those who are of the children of Jacob, who keep the commandments and have faith in Christ and keep Christ's testimony, these particular individuals will be used by the Most High to actually reveal as well as take down what the world may know as the Illuminati. But this lesson is going to show you, it's going to go in depth to show you why there's been what you will call a conspiracy against the nation of Israel to keep us divided, separated on social lines, religious lines, and financial lines, so on and so forth, to keep us from coming to the true knowledge and true understanding of who we are as a people, and to prevent us from coming to unity in the faith. We're going to find out that according to the Bible, those of the children of Israel who follow Christ are a spectacle to the world. Okay? And we're going to read this in the book of 1 Corinthians, the fourth chapter and the ninth verse. Okay, you got it?
1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9. For I think that the Most High has set forth us the apostles last.
So it states, this is Paul speaking, sending a letter to the church of Corinth. He states that he thinks that the Most High have set his apostles last. For what purpose?
As it were approved to death. For we are made a spectacle unto the world.
So the Bible states that the apostles of Christ are made as a spectacle unto the world. Okay? When you look at that word spectacle in the Greek, it comes from the Greek word theatron, in which you get the word theater from. So those of the apostles, those of the children of Israel who are following righteousness in these last days are like a spectacle unto the world. So the question is, who's watching this spectacle? Who's watching this theater take place? We're going to show you.
And to angels.
You are a spectacle to who?
And to angels.
We are a spectacle to angels. So yes, the angels are watching the works of the righteous in the last days. You are a spectacle unto the angels. Go ahead.
And to men.
And to men. So men are also watching us in these last days. Okay? So now, why are we being watched? Okay? Or better yet, a better question is, as we're being watched by both angels and men, what I will say the so-called Illuminati, or you may call them something else, those who are a part of the conspiracy against the children of Israel, what are they watching for? Okay? Why are we a spectacle unto men in this earth? Okay? We're going to show you. What are they watching for? Let's get the book of Micah chapter 5, verse 7. All right, Micah 5 and 7. And we're going to show you what the so-called conspirators, those behind the conspiracy are watching for as they look upon the children of Israel in these last days as a spectacle. Go ahead.
Micah chapter 5, verse 7. And the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people.
So it states that the remnant of Jacob shall be in the midst of many people. Okay, we shall be in the midst of many people. In other words, we will be scattered amongst all nations. Okay, go ahead.
As a dew from the Most High.
As a dew from the Most High. Go ahead.
As the showers upon the grass.
As showers upon the grass. So if you ever go out in the morning and you see dew upon the grass, or you see dew upon the earth, it's scattered all over the place. If you ever go outside after it's done raining and you inspect the grass or the earth, you notice that it's scattered everywhere. That's the same way that the nation of Israel is scattered throughout all nations of the earth, like dew upon the earth and like showers that rain upon the grass. Okay? Go ahead.
That tarry it not for man.
And it says they tarry not for man, which means this cannot be controlled by man. All right, go ahead.
Nor waited for the sons of men.
Nor waited for the sons of men. So man cannot control what the Most High is doing with the children of Jacob, or the remnant of Jacob that's scattered throughout all nations. Go ahead.
Verse 8. And the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles.
And it says the remnant of Jacob shall be among the Gentiles. To show you what it means when it says that Israel, or the remnant of Jacob, shall be amongst many people, it's speaking about us being scattered amongst the Gentiles. Go ahead.
In the midst of many people.
In the midst of many people.
As a lion among the beasts of the forest.
As a lion amongst the beasts of the forest. And we know that the lion is recognized as the king of the jungle. Okay, the greatest amongst all beasts, the most fiercest amongst all beasts. Go ahead.
As a lion among the flocks of the sheep.
As a lion amongst the flocks of the sheep. Go ahead.
Who if he go through.
If he decide to go through and attack the sheep and destroy the sheep. Go ahead.
Both tread it down and tear it in pieces.
Both treadeth down and teareth in pieces, which means if this lion decides to rise up, like the question is asked in the book of Deuteronomy, the 49th chapter, Judah is a lion's whelp. He crouched down as a old lion, and from the prey he have gone up. Who shall rouse him up? Okay, so the question is, if Judah is roused up, who can stop him? Who can stop him from going amongst the sheep and the other beasts of the forest and tearing and rendering apart? Okay, and the answer is no one. Go ahead.
And none can deliver.
And none can deliver, which means none can stop Judah once the Most High puts the spirit on him to start going out throughout the nations and tearing apart the nations. Okay, so the conspirators, those who are a part of the so-called Illuminati, understand this. So what is their solution? Okay, before we get their solution, we're going to go to the book of Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Okay. As a matter of fact, let's get straight to Exodus 1 and 10. Okay, Exodus 1 and 10. All right. So first and foremost, we realize that we are a spectacle unto the world, unto both angels and men. We're being watched. Those who are watching us, specifically speaking about those who are amongst the conspirators against Jacob, amongst Edom, Ishmael, Moab, Ammon, so on and so forth. Those that watch us are watching us closely, realizing that once the Most High puts the spirit upon us to wake up, mentally, physically, and spiritually, there's none that can stop us. Okay? So what is their solution to this, what they would consider a problem? Let's go to the book of Exodus chapter 1, verse 10.
Exodus chapter 1, verse 10. Come on, let us now deal wisely with them.
So according to the Bible, it states, come on, let us deal wisely with them. This was a solution that the Egyptians came up with when they realized that the children of Israel were growing in number, when there was a spike in the Israelite population. They decided that we're going to deal with these people wisely. You're going to find out that we, especially those who either grew up in America, or those who are still in America, you are living in modern day Egypt. Let's get Deuteronomy 28:68, as well as Revelations 11 and verse 8. Okay, it says, "Come on, let us deal wisely with them." So the conspirators behind this conspiracy are dealing wisely with you. We're going to show you some examples, okay, throughout this lesson. But let's read Deuteronomy 28 and 68 to show you that you're actually a part of modern day Egypt. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68. For the Most High shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So the Bible prophesied that the children of Israel, due to their disobedience, would be brought into Egypt again by the means of ships. Okay? And this was fulfilled. This is a prophecy that was fulfilled through the transatlantic slave trade. All right? Now, the Bible speaks of being brought into Egypt. Now, a lot of people may think that this is speaking about ancient Egypt, or a prophecy that was fulfilled in ancient times, in which the Israelites went back into the old Egypt, okay, in the Eastern world. But we're going to show you that according to the Bible, that this reference of Egypt is only making reference to what the Bible calls the house of bondage. You must realize that when the Israelites came out of Egypt and went into the wilderness and received the laws, statutes, and commandments under Moses, the only place which they could relate to a great bondage or a great captivity is the land of Egypt, the place they just served in for over 430 years. Okay? So when it speaks about Egypt, it's strictly speaking about a house of bondage. And we're going to prove this going to the book of Exodus chapter 13, verse 3. Go ahead.
Exodus.
Okay, we're going to Exodus 13 and 3 to show you that Egypt just simply means a house of bondage. Okay, Exodus chapter 13, verse 3. Go ahead.
And Moses said unto the people, remember this day in which ye came out of from Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
Out of the what?
Out of the house of bondage.
So here, according to the Bible, Egypt is synonymous with the house of bondage. Okay, so when it tells you that we would go into Egypt again by the means of ships, that Egypt is not ancient Egypt, but modern Egypt, the modern house of bondage. Okay, to further elaborate, we're going to go to the book of Revelations chapter 11, verse 8. So the question is, which place were the Israelites taken to serve a great bondage, which can only be compared to the bondage that was served in Egypt? The answer to that question is America. Okay, so now we're going to the book of Revelations 11 and 8 to further elaborate on this modern day Egypt. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 8. And their bodies shall lie in the street of the gate of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt.
Which is what?
Which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt.
So this place is spiritually called Sodom as well as Egypt. Why? It's called Sodom because of the homosexual demonic practices that are upheld and kept in the place we call America. And it's called Egypt, spiritually called Egypt, because of the same practices of bondage, or the same bondage that was served in Egypt. The same way the Egyptians dealt wisely with us to cause us to be placed into captivity, the same thing is being done in America. Okay, it's just a different political ball game, different political terminologies, but it's still the same bondage nonetheless. Okay, so the nations are dealing wisely with us, getting back on track to keep this lion from awakening, to keep this lion from going out throughout the forest and amongst the sheep and destroying and rendering apart and tearing apart the sheep, which in this case is speaking about the nations, the Gentiles. Okay, so we're going to go into this lesson titled A Lion Forgotten, to show you that you still have the potential through the Spirit of the Most High to become that lion in which the nations are afraid. Okay? Everything that's set up in their system, their construct, whether religiously, socially, educationally, financially, so on and so forth, is set in place to retain, hold, and keep back the uprising of the children of Israel. Okay? But we're going to show you, as we read in the book of Micah, that these particular people, the upliftment of these people, the spiritual revival of these people is not hindering upon the works of man. It tells you that they tarrieth not for man. It also tells you that none can deliver. All right? So this is not hinging upon what man does. Man is not calling this forth. It's all through the Spirit of the Most High. And we're going to read that. Let's get first Hosea 6:1. Okay? Let's first get Hosea 6:1. And we're going to show you, according to the Bible, that this whole doing, all of these works that we see in the earth, is not being done by the power of man, but by the Spirit of the Most High. Okay? Read that. Hosea 6:1.
Hosea chapter 6, verse 1. Come, and let us return unto the Lord, for he had torn, and he will heal us. He had smitten, and he will bind us up. After 2 days, he will revive us.
So the Bible tells us that after 2 days we would be revived, spiritually revived. Okay? And this is not hinging upon the power of man. This is not by man's wisdom, by man's intellect, but solely upon the Spirit, or by the Spirit of the Most High God, whose name is Ahiah in the Hebrew. Go ahead.
In the third day, he will raise us up.
And it tells you that in the third day we will be risen up. All right? Let's get the book of Zechariah 4, verse 5. Zechariah 4 and 5.
Zechariah chapter 4, verse 5. Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by my might,
Not by my might, go ahead,
nor by power,
nor by power.
but by my spirit.
So read that again from the top.
Verse 4. So I answered and spake to the angel that talked with me, saying, What are these, my Lord? Then the angel that talked with me answered and said unto me, Knowest thou not what these be? And I said, No, my Lord. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by my might,
Not by might.
nor by power,
So it says not by might. All right, read that again.
not by might,
Not by might, meaning the might of man. Okay? Not by the might of man. Go ahead.
nor by power,
Nor by power, meaning the power of man. Go ahead.
but my spirit,
But my spirit,
said the Most High of hosts.
saith the Lord of hosts. So this is how the children of Israel are being awakened, spiritually revived, and this is what's going to cause us to be risen up in the last days from under our oppression. But getting back to the point, we're showing you that the conspirators nonetheless have a plan in place to try to prevent this uprising. Okay, this spiritual uprising, which will soon turn physical. All right. So what are some of the things they're setting in place? Well, before we get to that, we're going to first go through a few key points in our lesson to show you which you once were, according to the Bible. Okay, what was the might and power of Judah before he fell? Okay, what did Judah have as far as physical abilities, spiritual abilities, so on and so forth, before he was disconnected from the Most High, as well as the other tribes of the nation of Israel? Okay, we're first going to go into the Bible, and We're going to read you the book of Genesis, the 49th chapter. Okay? And you can start at the 8th verse. The book of Genesis, chapter 49, verse 8.
Genesis chapter 49, verse 8. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
So the Bible tells us that Judah would be praised by his brethren. Why would Judah be praised by his brethren? Because out of Judah would come the Messiah, the Christ, Yeshua. Okay? Also, Judah, historically, would be set up as the kings over the nation of Israel, beginning with King David. All right, go ahead.
Verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up.
It states that Judah is a lion's whelp, and from the prey he have gone up. All right? He have gone from the prey. He have forgotten his true enemy, his true prey. Go ahead.
He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up?
The Bible states, as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? Now, we just read in the book of Zechariah, chapter 4, verse 8, that not by might nor by power, but by my spirit. So the spirit of the Most High will be used to rouse Judah up, to remember his nature as a lion. All right? So let's show you what Judah once was in the Old Testament. All right? And we're actually going to start with a book which you would consider a apocryphal work, which is called the Testament of Judah. All right? A few weeks ago, we went through the Testament of Reuben. We've touched on the Testament of Issachar. This week, we're going to touch on the Testament of Judah. Now, let's see some of the physical might that Judah possessed before he separated from the spirit of the Most High. We're in the Testament of Judah, chapter 2, verse 1. Go ahead.
And the Lord showed me favor in all my works. And the Lord showed me favor in all my works, both in the field and in the house. I know that I raised a hind and caught it, and prepared the meat for my father, and he did eat. And the roses I used to master in the chase, and overtake all that was in the plains. A wild moor I overtook, and caught it and tamed it. I slew a lion and plucked a kid out of his mouth.
All right, so read that again from the top. All right. Just 1 second. Read that again.
And the Lord showed me favor in all my works, both in the field and in the house. I know that I raised a hind and caught it and prepared the meat for my father, and he did eat.
So the Bible tells you that Judah had the physical strength or the physical power to be able to chase a hind, which you would call today a deer. All right. So this is the speed, the physical, just some of the physical attributes of Judah. He was very quick, very fast, to the point where he could chase a hind. Go ahead.
And the roes I used to master in the chase, and overtake all that was in the plains. A wild moor I overtook.
And it says he would overtake all that was in the plains. Now keep this in mind, what we read earlier. Keep this in mind as we read this and compare it to what we read earlier. How Judah is like a lion's whelp. How Judah would be amongst the beasts of the field. How he would be as a lion amongst many sheep. And check out the spirit of Judah, how he would actually go and chase the sheep and chase the deers and chase the roes like a lion. Okay? So back then, Judah was in the full spirit of a lion, both physically as well as spiritually. Okay? Go ahead.
A wild moor I overtook and caught it and tamed it. I slew a lion and plucked a kid out of his mouth.
So he slew a lion and took a kid out of his mouth. This is how powerful Judah was before he separated from the Most High God. Go ahead.
I took a bear by its paw and hurled it down the cliff.
He was able to take a bear by his paw and hurl him down a cliff. Now, can you imagine someone taking a bear and throwing him off a cliff by his foot? Okay, that takes a high level of physical might. But keep in mind that we were operating under the spirit of the Most High. Okay, back when we was able to do these particular things we read of. All right, go ahead.
And it was crushed. I outran a wild boar, and seizing it as I ran, I tear it in sunder. A leopard in Hebron leaped upon my dog, and I caught it by the tail and hurled it on the rocks.
So this is similar to some of the things we read concerning King David. King David did some of the same things. All right, go ahead.
And it was broken in twain. I found a wild ox feeding in the field, and seizing it by the horns, and whirling it round and stunning it, I cast it from me and slew it. We had just right there.
Now we're going to jump over to the book of Jasher, which is another, I guess you would call, apocryphal work, which means a hidden work. And this book we're about to read, if anyone doesn't know, is referenced in the Bible as the book of Jasher. In your own time, you can read the book of Joshua chapter 1, verse 13, or Joshua 1 and 10, as well as 2 Samuel. As a matter of fact, let me get those two verses just for reference sake. Okay? You got them? I believe it's Joshua 1 and 10 and 2 Samuel 1 and 17, if I'm not mistaken. All right? And you can read those verses on your own time, which reference the book of Jasher as being an actual biblical work. All right? Joshua 10:13. So let me correct that. Joshua 10 and 13, not 1 and 13, but 10 and 13. All right? And 2 Samuel 1 and 17, which are references in the Bible which quote or give you a biblical reference of the book of Jasher. So you can know that that's an actual record of the Hebrews. We're going to read from that book of Jasher in the 54th chapter and the 46th verse. Go ahead.
All right. And whilst they were fleeing, Judah and his brother pursued them unto the house of Pharaoh, and they all escaped. And Judah again sat before Joseph and roared at him like a lion, and gave a.
It says Judah roared at Joseph as a lion, to show you that Judah in old times not only dealt with the spirit of a lion in a spiritual sense, but also in a physical sense. All right, he had the physical power and might of a lion. Go ahead.
And gave a great and tremendous shriek at him, and the shriek was heard at a distance, and all the inhabitants of Sukkot heard it, and all Egypt quaked at the sound of the shriek.
So all the inhabitants of Egypt quaked at the roaring of Judah. Go ahead.
And also the walls of Egypt and of the land of Goshen fell in from the shaking of the earth.
So there was an earthquake based on the roar of Judah. So we're going into this record to show you that the powers of this earth also have read the prophecies as well as the historical references of what used to take place when the Most High had his spirit upon the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay? So they're trying to prevent us from getting back to this point. Being able to cause earthquakes just by the sound of our voice or through a shout. Okay? Go ahead.
And Pharaoh also fell from his throne upon the ground, and also all the pregnant women of Egypt and Goshen miscarried when they heard the noise of the shaking.
So his voice, the shaking of his shout, his shriek, was so powerful it caused miscarriages in Egypt. All right, that's how powerful it was. Go ahead.
For they were terribly afraid.
Now we're jumping over to the book of Jasher, chapter 54, verse 36. Go ahead.
And Naphtali went as Judah had commanded him, For Naphtali was a light-footed as one of the swift stags.
So this is going into Naphtali. And we know that according to the Bible, that Naphtali is described as a hind let loose, meaning he was light-footed, he was quick. Go ahead.
And he would go upon the ears of the corn, and they would not break under him. And he went and
He was so light-footed that he can tread upon ears of corn. These are the same things you read or you see in some of the Chinese flicks. All right, where do you think they get it from? They get it from the Bible. They get it from our ancestors and the power that we once had under the Most High. Where you see Chinese movies and kung fu flicks with people treading upon leaves and doing all types of things, this is all things that we did under the power of the Most High in past times. Okay, go ahead.
verse 37. And he went and numbered all the streets of Egypt and found them to be 12. And he came hastily and told Judah. And Judah
He ran through all the streets of Egypt and numbered their streets and found out that it was 12. And came back and reported to Judah. Go ahead.
and Judah said unto his brethren, Hasten you and put on every man his sword up in his loins, and we will come over Egypt and smite them all, and let not a remnant remain.
All right. So as you read this, now you can see how the Bible speaks about one Israelite taking out 1,000 and a few Israelites taking out 10,000. Now it seems impossible in this current state we're in as a nation. But back then it was possible. Why? Because we were under the spirit and guidance of the Heavenly Father. Okay? Go ahead.
Psalms 80.
Now we're going to jump to Psalms 83. We mentioned earlier the conspirators, those who are behind the conspiracy to keep the children of Israel from one day getting back to their former state, being able to tread upon ears of corn, to be able to run through a whole city and back within a matter of a few minutes, okay, or maybe a few hours, all right? Being able to cause a shout or send forth a shout that will cause earthquakes throughout a whole city or shake the foundations of a whole city. This is what the nations are trying to prevent. Those who are the heads over the nations are trying to prevent the children of Israel from getting back to, all right? And now we're going to the book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter. We've read this many times before, but this has given us the identity of the conspirators behind this conspiracy. Go ahead.
Keep Psalms chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thou silence, O Most High. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Most High. For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
So the enemies are making a tumult. They're making an uprising, an uproar amongst themselves. What is this tumult or this uprising about? It's going to show you. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head.
And they that hate the Most High have lifted up the head. All right. They are now the heads over the earth. Okay, go ahead.
They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
They're taking crafty counsel against the Most High's people. So these people were once subject to the children of Israel. Now they're the heads over the children of Israel. And now that they're the heads over the children of Israel, they're taking crafty counsel against us. Go ahead.
And consulted against thy hidden one.
They're consulting against the hidden ones. Go ahead.
They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel be no more in remembrance.
They're trying to cut us off from being a nation so that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. They're trying to wipe out the name of Israel from off the face of the earth. Go ahead.
Verse 5. For they had consulted together with one consent.
So they all have consulted. They've all sat down in meetings. They've all sat down in lectures and sat down in presentations with one consent. This is what you call your one world order. This is what the one world order is all about. Go ahead.
They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes.
These are the conspirators who are responsible from holding or attempting to hold Israel back. But will it happen? Absolutely not. Because we read earlier that by the Spirit of the Most High, these people will be roused up. They will be lifted up in the last days. Go ahead.
And Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Assur also was joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot.
They have helped the children of Lot, Moab, and Ammon. All right. So it mentions the Edomites, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Amalekites, which are your so-called Jewish people of today. It mentions Assur, which is Assyria. It mentions the children of Lot. These are all the nations, as well as the Philistines and those who are of the Hamitic nations, the Hamitic tribes of the earth. So these are all the people who are confederate against the children of Israel. Okay, so let's move on to the book of 2 Samuel chapter 23, verse 8. Second Samuel 23 and 8. Go ahead.
2 Samuel chapter 23, verse 8. These be the names of the mighty men whom David had.
So now this is going into David's mighty men. So going back to those who are the conspirators against the children of Israel, now all of these nations have governments. As we read earlier, they have lifted up the head. They are established as the heads and the rulers of the earth. So within their governments, they're trying in every facet of society to keep the children of Israel oppressed, suppressed, and depressed in this state of captivity. Okay? They have done it through economics. They have done it through education. They have done it through religion. And they've done it through science and all these different philosophies that they have set up in this earth. Okay? They use witchcraft, sorcery, black magic, wizardry. These are all things they use to keep you suppressed from rising up. Okay? But the Most High is putting the spirit on the children of Israel to wake up in these last days. And when we wake up, we're going to return and be like Judah. We're going to be like Naphtali. We're going to be like we're about to read with King David and his mighty men. Okay? 2 Samuel 23 and 8.
These be the names of the mighty men whom David had. The Tachmonite, that sat in the seat, chief among the captains. The same was Adino, the Eznite. He lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time.
So these are the men who were David's royal guard. Okay, what the Bible calls his mighty men. And it says that one of them, what was his name again?
The Tachmonite was Adino.
Adino, the Tachmonite. Go ahead.
The Eznite, he lifted up his spear against 800, whom he slew at one time.
So you had one of the mighty men who lifted up his spear and killed 800 men at one time. Go ahead.
And after him was Eleazar, the son of Dodo, the Ahohite, one of the three mighty men with David, when they defiled the Philistines that were there gathered together to the battle, and the men of Israel were gone away. He arose and smote the Philistines until his hands were weary, and his hand clave unto the sword, and the Lord wrought a great victory that day.
So he wore out the Philistines and fought against the Philistines till his hand clave to his sword, which means his hand couldn't be separated from his sword. Okay, that's how hard this brother fought, and it states that he fought until he was worn out. All right, now we just worn out because we work in the 9 and 5 shifts and trying to take care and keep the home together and doing all these things to try to keep the family together. But back then, the men of Israel were worn out through war, fighting the enemies of the Most High, protecting the nation. This is what we did back then. All right. Now they have you using your physical attributes because we still, even in this crushed state, we still got some of our physical abilities. Okay. Fast runners, high jumpers, heavy lifters. But instead we use it for play and sport. okay, to dunk basketballs and shoot jump shots, to run footballs, okay, to hit a baseball. This is what we use our abilities for. But back then we used it to protect our nation. Speaking about the men of Israel. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And after him was Shammah, the son of Agi, the Hararite. And the Philistines were gathered together into a troop, where was a piece of ground full of lentils, and the people fled from the Philistines. But he stood in the midst of the ground and defended it, and slew the Philistines, and the Lord wrought a great victory. And 3 of the 30 chief went down and came to David in the harvest time unto the cave of Adullam. And the troop of the Philistines pitched in the valley of Rephaim. And David was then in a hold, in the garrison of the Philistines, was then in Bethlehem. And David longed and said, "Oh, that one would give me drink of water of the well of Bethlehem, which is by the gate." Verse 16. And the 3 mighty men brake through the host of the Philistines and drew water out of the well of Bethlehem.
So David had 3 men go through the Philistines. You have to understand the location which David was at. In order for the men to get this water, they had to go through the Philistines' territory. So these men fought through the Philistines just to get a pail of water for King David. Okay, go ahead.
That was by the gate, and took it, and brought it unto David. Nevertheless, he would not drink thereof.
So David, once they brought the water back, would not drink thereof. Go ahead.
But poured it out unto the Lord. And he said, "Be it far from me, O Most High, that I should do this. Is not this the blood of the men that went in the jeopardy of their lives?"
So he said, "Is not this the blood of the men who went in jeopardy of their lives?" So you had men who jeopardized their very lives to get a pail of water for King David. And King David was so touched in his conscience that he said, "I can't even drink this water." Okay, because these men, they went and they sacrificed their lives just to get me this water. So we offered it up to the Most High. Go ahead.
Therefore he would not drink it. These things did these 3 mighty men. Excuse me. Verse 18. And Abishai, the brother of Joab, the son of Zuriah, was chief among 3. And he lifted up his spear against 300 and slew them, and had the name among 3.
So you had another one of David's mighty men who lifted up his spear and slew 300 men. Go ahead. Now, some people may be listening to this, or some people may come across this, and they may say, "Well, that sounds very violent. How could it be that we're celebrating or reading a history and glorying in history in which people are being killed?" Well, those same people will go and watch the movie 300, in which the Greeks glory in their battles, their mighty men of their history. All right? They'll go watch Alexander, glorying in Alexander the Great, who was another mighty man and a great man of war. Okay? They'll glory in their war heroes, George Washington. Okay? The founding fathers. They'll glory in their war heroes, but when we go and we speak about our war heroes and those who were mighty men of our nation, now it's just sheer violence. Okay, it's too much. It's bloody. It's gory. You know, while you're reading that Old Testament of the Bible, it's full of blood. Okay? But the reason they don't want us to read this is because they understand that we are those same people who once performed these great feats. Okay, and performed these great acts that we read about in the Bible. Go ahead.
Verse 19. Was he not most honorable of 3? Therefore he was their captain. Howbeit he attained not unto the first 3. And Benaniah, the son of Joiada, the son of a valiant man, of Kabizul.
Son of a valiant man, which means his father was also a great man of war. That's what it means. He was a son of a valiant man. Go ahead.
Who had done many acts. He slew two lion-like men of Moab. He went down also and slew a lion in the midst of a pit in the time of snow.
So he not only slew 2 lion-like men of Moab, he also during the time of a snowstorm or during the time of snow, went into a pit and slew a lion. All right, and all of y'all may have seen that movie, The First 300. You had the kid go out into the snow. They put him out in this deserted place where it was snow, and it was a fierce beast. It was like he was in the pit and the fierce beast, and he took his arrow or his spear and killed the beast. Okay, that's similar to what this brother did in the Old Testament. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 21. And he slew an Egyptian, a goodly man. And the Egyptian had a spear in his hand, but he went down to him with his staff, and plucked the spear out of the Egyptian's hand, and slew him with his own spear.
So he went to an Egyptian, and he took the spear from the Egyptian's own hand and killed him with his own spear. Okay, this is how fierce and how powerful these men were of the men of Israel. Okay, that's like today taking somebody's gun out their hand and shooting them with their own gun. All right, that's how amazing this is what we're reading in the book of 2 Samuel, the 23rd chapter. Okay, what you got next?
Psalms chapter 18.
All right. Psalms 18:29. Go ahead.
Psalms chapter 18, verse 29. By thee I have run through a troop, and by my power have I leaped over a wall. As for the Most High,
It says he ran through a troop. A troop is a band of soldiers. So it says he ran through a troop, and by his power he did what?
I leaped over a wall.
He leapt over a wall. All right? He leapt over a wall. And like I said, today we still got somewhat these abilities to be able to jump high. Okay, you got brothers who could jump over a car. All right, you had the one story, I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Goat with the brother, I forget his name, I think it's Earl Manigault, the brother who could jump real high. They had stories of him. They would put a quarter or they put money at the top of a backboard. The brother would go and jump and take the money off the top of the backboard. That's how high this brother could jump. Okay, only maybe 5'9", 5'10", around that height. Very short, but could jump very high. All right. But it's going to be exalted on a whole nother level when the Most High puts his spirit on us and has us go, as what the Bible says, be used as his weapon of war, as his battling axe. Okay, go ahead.
Verse 30. As for the Most High, his way is perfect. The word of the Lord is tried. He is a buckler to all those that trust in him.
He's defense. He's a buckler to all those that trust him. Go ahead.
For who is the Most High save the Lord? Or who is a rock save our power? It is the Most High that girded me with strength. And
it's the Most High that girdeth us with strength. So we're not going to be able to do this by our own power and our own might. It's only going to be by the Most High that we're going to be able to do what we read in Psalms the 18th chapter. To run through a troop, a band of soldiers, to be able to jump over a wall. Go ahead.
It is the Most High that girded me with strength, and maketh my ways perfect.
He maketh our ways perfect. Go ahead.
He maketh my feet like hinds' feet.
He maketh my feet like hinds' feet, like what we read concerning Naphtali. Go ahead.
And setteth me upon the high places.
And he setteth me upon the high places. What you got next?
He teacheth my hands to war.
This is verse 32, Psalms 18:32. Go ahead.
Verse 34.
Verse 34, Salakia. Psalms 18:34. Go ahead.
He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by my arm.
He teacheth my hands to war, so that a bow of steel is broken by my arms. So once again, when you watch the karate flicks and the kung fu flicks, you see them breaking bricks and breaking ice and breaking steel. These are all things that the Most High, these are all things that the children of Israel possessed in past times through the Spirit of the Most High. All right? It says that he teacheth my hands to war. That's physical combat, martial arts, and is written of in the Bible. And once again, the Most High is going to restore this to us as a nation once he rise us up or raise us up to now become the battle axe and weapons of war against the nations. Go ahead.
Verse 35. Thou hast also given me the shield of thy salvation, and thy right hand had holden me up, and thy gentleness had made me great. That's it on it.
You got next. Okay. I'm going to read real quick an excerpt to show you that, as a matter of fact, okay. We're going to read a quick excerpt because we first started off showing you the powers that the children of Israel possessed and the strength that the children of Israel possessed in biblical history. Now we're going to show you, because we mentioned earlier that the nations are trying to deal wisely with you. As a matter of fact, they have dealt wisely with you. And they're preparing to one day fight against you on a whole nother level. But they also understand, going back to Micah, the 5th chapter, that when the Most High raise you up, no one is going to be able to deliver. It's going to be to the point where you're like a lion and the nations are like sheep. No one will be able to deliver out of your hands. So what is the solution that the nations are coming up with to one day fight these mighty men that the Most High is raising up? Well, what we got here is a excerpt from Wikipedia.com on super soldiers. Okay, super soldiers. I'm going to read this real quick. It says, and once again, this is coming from Wikipedia.com. The super soldier or super soldier is a concept soldier. So they're saying it's a concept as if it's not something that exists at this very moment. A concept means it's just a thought right now, but eventually it can be made in the future. Well, we got a news flash for you. They already have what you call super soldiers, all right? It says often fictional, capable of operating beyond normal human limits or abilities. Super soldiers are common in military science fiction literature, films and video games, or films and video games. Today, DARPA is developing a externally powered XOS exoskeleton designed pictured for greatly increased strength and endurance. So they're basically creating machines which mimic the powers and the strength and the might that you once had in the past. Only this time they're using it to fight against you. Okay, they realized that their forefathers couldn't hold you in history. They couldn't hold you in the past, and they won't be able to hold you today. So now they have to use what is called super soldiers. Fictional super soldiers are usually heavy, augmented, either through eugenics, genetic engineering, cybernetic implants, chips like the mark of the beast, drugs, brainwashing, traumatic events, an extreme training regimen, or other scientific and pseudoscientific means. Occasionally, some instances also use paranormal methods, meaning spiritual methods, demonic methods, such as black magic, or technology and science of extraterrestrial origin. The creators of such programs in the entertainment industry are viewed often as mad scientists or stern military personnel, depending on the emphasis, as their programs would typically go past ethical boundaries in the pursuit of science or military might. Okay, so it actually mentions in this particular article that super soldiers, what they call super soldiers, the means of creating these particular things, as often depicted in movies, involves either genetics, engineering, implants, chips, drugs, brainwashing, but it also contains what is called paranormal events or black magic. Now, we all know that these movies, a lot of you may just watch it for entertainment, but a lot of these movies they use as a way to propel their ideas and their plans and what they're actually setting in place. Okay? And you're going to find out that these scientists that are working with DARPA, with NASA, and all these different agencies are not just sitting around, and these not just intelligent men just sitting around and gathering ideas on how to build advanced weapons and figuring out how to create rockets that can travel from one continent to the next, and figuring out how to create shuttles that can shoot out into space and how much fuel is going to need to make it into outer space. All right. A man did not come up with these ideas from his own intellect. Okay? Spiritual, what they would call spiritual demonic beings revealed a majority, if not all, of the technology we see today. Whether it's the everyday technology from the television to the automobile, all the way down to the weaponry that's being used, or the advanced weaponry that's being used by the nations. Okay, it was revealed through spiritual. Okay, spiritual, what they would call divine intervention. All right, and we're going to show you this on one level. Let's hold that real quick and get Isaiah the 56th chapter. Isaiah 54 and 16. All right. Isaiah chapter 54, verse 16.
Behold, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire.
So the Most High states that he created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire. Go ahead.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work.
And that bringeth forth an instrument for his work. So the Most High sends forth a decree for a spirit to go out and convince these nations to create their weaponry, to create their missiles, to be able to travel from one continent to the next, to be able to create their space shuttles, okay, and all their other advanced weaponry. The Most High sends forth a decree for a spirit to be put on these nations to do so. Okay, and a lot of these people, you may think that they know exactly what, they may know the fullness of the plan and what's going on. A lot of these people don't know. They're compartmentalized. All they know is that a spirit is on them to continue to cause them to make more missiles, to make more space shuttles. Okay, a spirit is on them to try to make super soldiers. They don't know why. They're just driven to do it. But it's all the workings of the Most High. Okay? Read on.
For his work, and I have created the waster to destroy.
And you have created the waster to destroy. So if you want to know how your missiles were created, your nuclear weaponry, your atomic weaponry, your ICBM missiles, you want to know who put the spirit on the nations to do so, the Most High sent forth the decree to allow this to happen. Okay? So getting back to what I was stating, these particular instruments of war are revealed through spiritual intervention. Okay? And it's no different with these super soldiers. Now we're going to go to the book of Enoch, the 15th chapter and the 8th verse. And we're going to show you, according to the Bible, how technology, or what you call technology, was introduced in the earth. This is the book of Enoch, chapter 15, verse 8.
And now the giants, who are produced from the spirits in flesh, shall be called evil spirits upon earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the body and from the holy watchers. Excuse me.
So when you read in the book of Enoch, in several chapters, it makes mention of how these giants, how these Nephilim, as well as their parents, their ancestors who were the fallen angels, came to this earth and began to reveal the use of technology, or what you will call technology, to mankind. All right, whether it be swords, shields, certain metals, and so on and so forth, they revealed this unto mankind. Now it's going into the judgment of the giants, which were produced from the offspring of fallen angels and women. Now we know that may be too hard, too big of a pill to swallow for a lot of people. But nonetheless, we know, according to the Bible, that these things happen, and according to the record of Enoch, that these things actually took place. Now, getting back to the point, the Bible has given us, so the book of Enoch has given us the judgment of these particular beings, how spirits proceeded from these giants who were slain during the time of the flood. Go ahead.
They shall be evil spirits on the earth, and and evil spirits shall they be called. As for the spirits of heaven, in heaven shall be their dwelling. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, on the earth shall be their dwelling.
So the spirits in heaven, for the spirits of heaven, heaven is their dwelling, and for the spirits of earth, earth is their dwelling. Go ahead.
Verse 11. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle.
So it's showing you, according to the book of Enoch, all the attributes of the fallen giants, or the spirits that proceeded from these giants. Now, one of the main spirits we wanted to magnify is the fact that it states they attack and do battle. They attack and do battle. So what does this have to do with what we just read about the super soldiers? Well, you're going to figure out soon that these super soldiers, these exoskeletons that they're building, in which they're calling super soldiers, will not just be manned through remote control technology. They will be manned and controlled through demonic spirits. These same demonic spirits we just read about in the book of Enoch. Why? Because it says that they attack and do battle. All right, so they're going to have you believe that this is just technology, this is just remote controlled robot beings, but this is going to be beings controlled by demonic spirits. Okay, they need bodies to inhabit. For those who can't find bodies to inhabit, they're going to be using these exoskeleton super soldiers. Okay, these machines. Go ahead. What they call today androids and cyborgs. Go ahead.
And the spirits of the giant afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men, and against the women, because they have proceeded from them.
All right. What you got next?
Matthew chapter 8, verse 28.
When Matthew 8 and 28. Go ahead.
And when he was come on the other side into the country of...
These are all the things that the elite have in store or have been planning against the children of Israel. Here it is, you think that you are low on the world stage when it comes to what's happening geopolitically, but yet in reality you're pretty much the crux of what's taking place, the water. You're the crux as to why they're doing what they're doing with the financial system. Okay, why they're eventually introducing the mark of the beast. You're the reason why they're performing all these wars in Syria, in Egypt, okay, throughout the Middle East, and eventually going into war with Iran. This is all culminating and leading up to the last world war, which eventually will lead to the last, what I would say, the last front against the children of Israel. Okay, the next desolation against the children of Israel. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 8, verse 28. And when he was come to the other side into the country of the Gergesenes, there met him two possessed with devils.
So there was two men possessed with devils when Christ came into the city of the Gergesenes. Now check out the physical ability of these men.
Coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by the way. And behold, they cried out, saying, What have we to do with thee, Yeshua the son of the Most High? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?
So the demons were crying out, and they were stating, or they were asking Christ, are you coming to judge us before our time? So they knew that they had a time of judgment. Go ahead.
Verse 30. And there was a good way off from them, and herd of many swine feeding. So the devils besought him, saying, If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine. And he said unto them, Go. And when they were come out, they went into the herd of swine, and behold, the whole herd of swine ran violently down a steep place into the sea, and perished in the waters.
So showing you I want you to read that again, showing you the physical might of these demons. Once someone is demonically possessed, they have what they would call extra human abilities. And we're reading this in the Bible. This is the book of Matthew chapter 8, verse 29. Go ahead. As a matter of fact, start at verse 28.
Verse 28. And when he was come to the other side, into the country of the Gergesenes, there met him two possessed with devils, coming out of the tombs, exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by the way.
So they were so fierce that no man could pass by the way of these tombs. This is how fierce these men were. Go ahead.
And behold, they cried out, saying,
They would attack anyone that went past. Go ahead.
What have we to do with thee, Yeshua, son of the Most High? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time? And there was a great way off from them, and herd of swine feeding. So the devils besought him, saying, If thou cast us out, suffer us to go away into the herd of swine.
Okay. So just showing you the physical ability of men under demonic possession. Now, there's another account in the Bible in which you have men who are also possessed by demons, who when they would put chains, they would cuff them up and try to keep these men bound, they would break the chains. Just giving you biblical examples of how men operate under demonic possession. So these same demons who cause men to be able to break chains and have extra human abilities will be the same demonic spirits they use to operate within these so-called super soldiers. Okay? Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians 1 and 10.
1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yeshua Christ, that ye all speak the same thing, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
So now, what is our solution to be able to fight against what's coming in these last days with the technology, with the super soldiers, with the mark of the beast, okay, with the World War III, all the things that encompass World War III? What is our solution? The Bible tells us that we must come together, that there be no divisions amongst us, that we speak the same things, which, believe it or not, is very powerful. Once we come together in unity of the faith, then the Most High can use us as he have used our forefathers in the past. Okay? Go ahead.
That's it on that.
Here you go to Acts, the second chapter.
All right, Acts chapter 2, verse 1. And when the day of Pentecost was come, they were all with one accord in one place. And suddenly there came a sound from heaven, as of a rushing of a mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting. And there appeared unto them cloven tongues like as of fire, and it set upon each of them. And they were all filled with the Holy Spirit, and began to speak with other tongues, as the Spirit gave them utterance.
So this is showing you an example of how, even though they have divided us through many means, through many fronts, on many levels in this earth, as we mentioned earlier, religiously, economically, socially, educationally, all right, spiritually, they have divided us. But yet we're seeing an example in the Bible in which, through divine intervention, or what people may call divine intervention, through the Holy Spirit, the Most High still allowed it to where the gospel could be preached and that unity in the faith can be brought forth. So regardless of what they've done to separate us, the Spirit of the Most High is more powerful than the tools and the means that they have used to cause the separation. Okay? So there can be so many different obstacles set before us. But through the Spirit of the Most High, we can overcome all of these obstacles, all the barriers, all the things that have been set in place to keep us divided. All right, go ahead. Jump down to verse 38.
Yeah. Verse 38. Then Peter said unto them, Repent, and be baptized every one of you in the name of Yeshua Christ, for the remissions of sin.
We must be baptized, we must repent, and be baptized for the remission of our sins. All right, so the Bible has given us key steps and information on how to overcome what's been planned against us in these last days. As we read earlier, Zephaniah, the 4th chapter and 8th verse, not by might or by power, but by my Spirit. Okay, only by the Spirit of the Most High, unity in the faith, repenting, getting ourselves together according to the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That's going to be our saving grace in these last days against all the wiles of the devil and all the inventions of the wicked. Go ahead.
And ye shall be And be baptized, every one you, in the name of Yeshua, for the remission of sins, and ye shall receive the gift of the Holy Spirit.
We shall receive the gift of the Holy Spirit. Go ahead.
Verse 39, for the promise is unto you and unto your children.
So the promises are unto us and to our children. Okay? Those brothers you read in the book of Acts, the promises of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob were promised to them as well as their children. And we're the children of these men that we read about in the book of Acts. Go ahead.
And to all that are far off.
And to all that are afar off, meaning all of Israel that is scattered abroad. The promises are to them. Go ahead.
Even as many as the Lord our power shall call.
Even as many of Israel that the Most High shall call. As many of Israel that the Most High shall call. To all of those children are the promises made, or were the promises made. How was it made possible for us to receive the promises? Through the sacrifice of our Lord and Savior, Yeshua, the Messiah. Go ahead.
And with many other words did he testify and exhort, saying, save yourselves from this untoward generation.
So save yourselves. The same way. Okay, read that again. So the same way the brothers back then had to protect themselves and save themselves from the untoward generation, we must do the same thing. We must save ourselves from this untoward, forward, perverse, defiled generation, so that we can receive the promises of our fathers, and so that we may have a hedge of protection against all the devices that have been devised against us in these last days. Go ahead.
Verse 41, then they that gladly received his word were baptized, and the same day there were added unto them about 3,000 souls.
So all those who gladly heard his word were baptized. They were baptized. How? With water, the same way Christ was baptized. Go ahead.
Verse 42, and they continue steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine and fellowship, and in the breaking of bread, and in prayers. Verse 43, and fear came upon every soul, and many wonders and signs were done by the apostles.
So many signs and wonders were done by the apostles. Okay? So it wasn't by the power of the apostles that they were able to do these signs and wonders, that they were able to spread the gospel and speak in languages that they themselves could not understand, so that they can preach the gospel to brothers that were scattered under different nations speaking different tongues. It was all by the Spirit of the Most High and unity in the faith. And this is the blueprint that the Most High has given us so that we can be used in these last days. Okay, so that we can be used to spread this gospel, so that we can be used to raise the dead and do many wondrous works, heal sicknesses. Okay, it takes unity of the faith and the Spirit of the Most High. Go ahead.
This is Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them.
The Bible tells you that the portion of Jacob is not like them, meaning the other nations. Go ahead.
For he is the former of all things.
He is the former of all things, meaning he is before all things. Everything that Jacob has received as far as knowledge, understanding, and promises go back to the beginning with Adam. From Adam, it was eventually passed down to Shem. From Shem, down to Eber. From Eber, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. From Jacob to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. Okay, so we are the former of all things. Go ahead.
And Israel is the rod of his inheritance.
And Israel is the rod of the Most High's inheritance. Go ahead.
The Lord of hosts is his name. Verse 20, thou art my battle axe and weapons of war.
So Israel is the battle axe and weapons of war of the Most High. They are the battle axe and weapons of war of the Most High, meaning they will be used as the battle axe, as the weapon that the Most High will send throughout the four corners of the earth and take out everything that defileth, everything that doeth evil. Okay, the war against the nations. Okay, this is who the Most High will use, the children of Israel. Go ahead.
For with thee will I break in pieces the nations.
So with Israel will the Most High break the nations. So how are the nations preparing? They're preparing with what they call super soldiers. They're preparing with advanced weaponry. putting new things in outer space. There was just an article in this past week about them putting something, a new, I guess, a space gate or a space net or space fence, something they call, I believe it's called a space fence that they put in the outer space that they claim is to keep debris from entering into the earth. Okay, which is utter foolishness. The reality is that they're preparing for the coming of Christ, because with the coming of Christ will come the upliftment and the uprising of the children of Israel, and we will be restored to our beginning. We will be restored as at the last. All the power that was possessed mentally, physically, and spiritually by our forefathers will be restored unto us, and the nations won't be able to stop us. Go ahead.
And with thee will I destroy kingdoms.
And with us will the Most High destroy kingdoms, meaning with the nation of Israel, the elect. He will destroy kingdoms. Go ahead.
And with thee will I break in pieces the horses and his rider. And with thee will I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. And with thee will I also will I break in pieces man and woman.
So he's going to break, not only is he going to break the nations, he's going to break their technology. Remember that back then, horses and chariots were used as means of operating in war. That was the travel they used in war. Now they got planes, they got jets, they got tanks, Humvees and Jeeps. They even got ships that mimic the UFOs or the chariots of the Most High. Okay? They got ships and they got technology now in which they can make their vehicles disappear. All right? And some of you may be thinking, how can you war against something that can disappear? Or how can we fight against this technology? The reality, as we stated earlier, is not by might, not by power, but by the Most High Spirit. That's how we're going to be able to fight against this technology. Okay? They're what they call DNA-specific bullets, which can target a person with a specific DNA. Okay, some of these things may sound crazy, but these are things that have actually been researched and found to be so. These are actual weapons that they got. Some of you may think, like they say in Revelation, the 13th chapter, who shall make war unto this beast? Who is like this beast? Who can fight against this empire? But we're showing you, according to the Bible, who the Most High is using to fight against the empire. Okay, the same people who are the low of the earth. That's why it tells us that the Most High useth not many mighty of this earth. He's going to use the lowest people on this earth in the last days to be able to fight against the most greatest on this earth. Go ahead.
And with thee will I break in pieces old and young. And with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid.
So when you read that book of Ezekiel where it tells you to go out and sigh and cry for the abominations that are being done in the midst thereof, and for the others in my hearing, go out and slay utterly both old and young, both maids and little children, both women, okay, and also women. Who is the Most High going to use to do this? We're reading about it in Isaiah, the 51st chapter, okay, or Salakia, Jeremiah, the 51st chapter. He's going to use his battle axe and weapons of war. All right, go ahead.
Verse 23, I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces the captains and rulers, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, said the Most High.
So he's going to use us for the vengeance of all that have been done against Zion. Okay? He's going to use us for the vengeance for all that have been done against us. Okay? Those who the Most High find worthy to be a part of that army, to play that position. Okay? Mark 16:16.
Mark chapter 16, verse 16. He that believeth and is baptized shall be saved, but he that believeth not shall be damned.
So he that believeth and is baptized, to show you that baptism is not just by hearing the word. Okay? If it was just by hearing the word, I can hear the word and believe the word, but I must also be baptized. Okay? So just hearing the word is not enough. All right? You can have somebody who believes but is not yet baptized. You must believe the word as well as be baptized. Go ahead.
Verse 17. And these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name shall they cast out devils. They shall speak with new tongues. They shall take up serpents, and if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them.
This is the power of those who will be operating in the spirit of the Most High. Even the poison of serpents will not be able to harm them. Okay, go ahead.
And if they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them.
If they drink any deadly thing, it shall not hurt them. And you have to remember in ancient times that the poison of serpents is one of the most deadliest poisons on the face of the earth. Okay, and our latter times, you got some of the you got things that are 10 times as deadly as the poison of a serpent, with the mad sciences that are set in place in this earth. Okay, but the Most High have made it to where we can be protected through His Spirit. Okay, if we believed and are baptized, then we shall be saved. Go ahead.
They shall lay hands on the sick and they shall recover.
So we're no longer going to need hospitals. We're no longer going to need pharmacies. Soon the Most High is going to make it to where you can lay hands on the sick and they will be healed of their ailments. Okay? Broken leg, broken arm, bronchitis, okay? Acute headaches, all right? Chronic diseases and sicknesses. Soon the Most High is going to put the Spirit out to where we can heal all those who are suffering from diseases and ailments. Okay, so He's breaking off our dependence from this empire so that we can one day be able to fight against this empire. Go ahead.
This is Romans chapter 13, verse 11. And that knowing the time, that now is high time to wake out of sleep.
Now it's high time to wake out of sleep. Go ahead.
For now is our salvation nearer than we believe.
Because our salvation is even more nearer than we believed. Okay, the time is nigh. Salvation is right around the corner. So it's time for us to wake out of sleep. Go ahead.
Verse 12. The night is far spent, the day is at hand. Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness.
Let us therefore cast off the works of darkness. As it tells us in the book of Hebrews, let us set aside every weight that doeth easily beset us. Let us cast away everything that's holding us down spiritually and mentally so that we can be able to run this race and finish, so that the Most High can use us to be able to fight against those who have oppressed us and kept us down for so long. Okay, go ahead.
And let us put on the armor of light.
And let us put on that armor of light. Let's sit on that. All right. So that concludes today's lesson, going into a lion forgotten. We showed you that according to the Bible, you children of Israel, from the so-called African Americans to the Jamaicans and West Indians to the so-called Mexicans, Argentinians, Chileans, so-called Polynesians, and those of Hawaii and the different Pacific islands, where you are still scattered in places in Africa, to the so-called Puerto Ricans, to the so-called Brazilians, Uruguayans, so on and so forth. The Most High is calling you back, okay? And we're showing you that you are a spectacle unto this world. Or we have showed you that you're a spectacle to this world. They're watching you, and they're dealing wisely with you. They're trying to keep you down so that you're not able to protect yourself in these last days, so that the Most High Spirit cannot dwell with you to keep you in these last days. So we're letting you know that it's time to wake up so that we can defend ourselves and restore us, or get back to that position of a lion like we once were in the past. All right, so with that, I want to say bless you all and shalom. What we're going to do at the moment is answer a few questions before we close out. And also we wanted to mention, just a quick announcement, for all those who are looking to join the next academy, which will be the 15th academy, the 15th installment of the academy. We will be accepting enrollments until June 20th. Okay, June 20th is the deadline for the enrollments. So if you're looking to join the Next Academy, please send an email to gatheringas1@aol.com. Once again, it's gatheringas1@aol.com, and we will get back with you as soon as possible. All right.